the fourth. Flacco into the wall a little bit. Tanner Holmes to the lead.
So Speed Week, ladies and gentlemen, the fastest 5 days in motorsports continues on today at the Cottage Grove Speedway. Check out this full pit area of 410 sprint cars. And I would say out of all 5 tracks this week, Cottage Grove is probably the place I technically have ran the most races. And recently, the 18T, when we were here, we captured the Marvin Smith Memorial, which is realistically the biggest show that biggest race that this track hosts each season with the 360 sprint cars in the state of Oregon. Quarter-mile bull ring, good banking. You can see the water truck over there. They're just kind of getting this surface all dialed in for this show. Total typical Pacific Northwest day in the 60s, pretty cool, light breeze, totally overcast. I would say tonight is going to start out fast, and it could hang around. The speed could hang around most of the evening. You can just tell everything's looking that direction. So we're going to get into tonight. Want to continue our speed with the 18T. Yesterday we had a good run, and just want to keep building on that. Keep building on that, putting together a full night of racing. There's the water truck. Here in a little bit, we'll be getting our fire suits, we'll be getting cars all fired up, and rolling through the fastest 5 days in motorsports.
Do is finish top 5.
Yeah. How was our lap?
10.55 quick time.
Right now.
So far.
Oh, we're still holding on to it.
Look at Blaine. Corey just ran a 10.56.
So we just rolled out for qualifying here at Cottage Grove. We're at the top of the charts with the 18T, which feels good to start the night. Qualifying's not over, but I feel like we laid down a good enough time that we should at least hang out towards the top throughout the rest of the duration of the laps. Track's probably getting a little bit better. It's just burning in, and 1 and 2 is so, it's so thick, and it's like you have to run so much lower than you would think here for Cottage Grove. You're almost running around the bottom because that's just the smoothest lane. 3 and 4, you have a little bit more area to get up and make the corner and really carry speed, where 1 and 2, I feel like you're just trying to get there through it more smoothly. So we hot lapped well, which I always tell you guys is a good product to start the night. We worked on it, freed up a little bit, and even our stagger changed, it grew, and I think that helped us. You just got to be really free right now with the conditions, as the racetrack, as I mentioned, was going to be fast and wet, and here we are. So we'll see what continues throughout the rest of the night, but a good start so far, and we'll watch the last few cars go. Held on. Quick time to start the night.
I think most of you guys know. Give it up for tonight's ARP Fast qualifier, Tanner Holmes.
So our lap held on to be at the top of the charts. Wanted to roll down here as we're just finishing up driver intros and now moving into a heat race. Basically just got to finish in the top 6. This will be a good test session for us to, see how our car is in traffic on a hooked up surface. Get a little bit closer, you can see this thing it's sticky. In Cottage Grove, I believe they, mixed in some material. We talked about that the Marvin weekend. They mixed in material. You can see it looks like now it's got more races on it, and it seems like it just holds moisture a little bit better. And then that combined with, all the factors in the weather today, I mean, it's gonna be fast. So definitely throw some tear-offs on. Make sure we keep our race car real free, but put ourselves in a really good position by qualifying well, and that time's gonna help us throughout the rest of the night. And just like I said, up next is the heat race. That's what we're focused on. So I'll save your time for this heat race. We get on the gas on the start and everyone kind of just fell into line. Of course, you could not see because the track was so sticky, so I was pulling tear-offs left and right, and immediately I felt that my car was much tighter behind other race cars than when I was by myself, which is of course expected. So we started 4th, finished 4th, ripped through some tear-offs, and now we're looking ahead at the dash. Just a little muddy. Burned through a couple tear-offs. Race car's pretty muddy. It's just so hooked up out there. Kind of figured that's how that heat race was gonna go. My game plan's literally get through turn 1 and then just get in line. You don't want to do anything to risk falling out of the top 6 with the position we're in. You know, it's basically a golden ticket right into the dash. Glad we qualified good though tonight because it's gonna help. It's gonna help a lot. Track position is gonna be everything. This is probably gonna come down to our pill draw unless something changes. Surface just has so much grip and it's just so thick, and it kind of chunks apart in spots, but it just keeps the grip. It doesn't like turn to dust or nothing. It just chunks apart with grip and it just gets uneven until it cleans off. But even when it cleans off, there's still grip. So we had a small issue in the cockpit with the shifter handle. They're working on that now. We're gonna be in the dash though. It's gonna come down to whatever they draw for where we start.
Is this the invert?
It's that one. You're welcome.
We're on the pole?
Yeah.
Well, tonight I feel like I'm bruising up my thumb on the tear-off post trying to get so many tear-offs on. That's in the name of the game this evening. We started on the pole there and won the dash. I think it's just gonna be about getting a good start here in the feature. In the dash, kind of lifted the nose up. Just so much grip, dude. So much grip. You almost got to get like your tires spun up, kind of shove the nose back down, I think. But made really good laps. I think my dad said one of my laps was faster than qualifying. Can you believe that? That's just nuts. So that's the pace. 10.5. 10.5. That's ripping. That's crazy to race at. So we're gonna give it all we got. They're out there trying to pack it. I think that's one of their only options. They're just trying to pack it tight so it does start to maybe slick off in spots. I think also maybe if they had a grater, like maybe grate, like just blade some of the top of it off in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's just so thick. So I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't help. But right now it kind of is what it is. It's gonna be a fast-paced race. You're gonna be on the gas. We got to keep our car free. So yeah, lap traffic's where you're gonna win or lose this race. So I feel good. Just think get a good start. No matter what, it's 30 laps. Lots gonna happen, and keep your head on straight and eyes forward. So 18 T's just about ready to roll. We've checked off all boxes to this point on.
Like really good.
It's always better if you can run a little harder.
No, I think you definitely can run it harder. It's just when you're going through traffic like that, there's nothing you can do about it. You're just not so tight there. You have nothing supporting that right side. So now it's just, it's doing a lot of this, and it needs to stand up more.
You had a couple shots at this thing.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think it's just tough. I just got to work on my starts with how much grip. I just kept getting the nose up and gave him the lead. I knew the race into turn 1 was going to be important, but even after that, like I just paced behind him, and he hit the front stretch wall a couple times. I hit the front stretch wall. We're just, we're working with such a small area with all those cars. It's easy to get too excited. So I thought I did a good job being patient and finally had my kind of chance and just wasn't able to stick it. So yeah, we'll chalk it up. Glad, like I said, I got the front stretch wall really good. So glad we didn't ball up another car there. So just glad to be on the podium, and we'll keep working on it.
Well, I'm sure.
Well, P2 tonight here at Cottage Grove. Obviously disappointing with how our entire night went. I felt like we kind of had it teed up there to have a really good shot to win the race on a track that was going to be difficult to pass, but still not easy to win because lap traffic was nuts. Easy to get over the curb. I almost balled up when I got in the front stretch wall. Luckily held on for second. Just had a lot of stuff go our way tonight, which has been nice, right? Nice to have some stuff go our way, but at the same time still could have cleaned some stuff up there and won the race. We're just as good. It's just once you're in second, like I had a shot, wasn't able to complete it. Just needed to maybe be a little bit closer in traffic. Really tried to be patient. I thought I did a good job, like running a good pace and just being there, but still, you can always be just a little bit better. So we'll take a second. Like I said, we're getting better and our car's where it needs to be. Now on a completely different racetrack than what we saw the first 2 nights, but still, obviously disappointing to not be in victory lane. That's what we show up here for, and yeah, we'll keep at it. Our team's not going to give up. Well, we're just about to leave the car wash, got the 18T all cleaned up. Of course, now it's been about 2 hours after the checkered flag, and I've had some time to reflect on the race. I know where things could have been better. I know where we did a good job from second, gave ourselves a chance. Ultimately, though, we didn't cross the finish line tonight in first place. And as a driver, when you look at your season, you look at those nights, like what was the difference in not winning to winning? How do you add to that W column? And I feel like we've had a handful of races this year where our seconds could have been victories, and that does hurt, but those are also what make you better, right? And then also the fact that we were in contention that many times. Just to go through it again, came back down to the start. Then once I was in traffic, just pacing them a little bit better, getting by some of those lap cars, not tripping over the cushion. And I think if I could have just, I did a good job taking care of my tires and being there with them and having something at the end. But then once I got racing, under 10 to go, I just needed to be a little more aware. I got running so hard I smoked the fence, and then my race was basically over from that point, where maybe if I wouldn't have hit the wall, the yellow was about to come out as well, but I was right there. Let's say the yellow doesn't come out, I need to be in a spot to pounce for the last 5, 6, 7 laps. And we had a car capable of it for sure. That's why we were there. But ultimately, happy with our night, happy that we put ourselves in position, and just want to continue to build off that. We talked about that all video, but man, it is so important. What my crew chief, Drew Warner from Tarleton, always says, no matter what, you just close that back door, the night's complete, and you gotta focus on what's next. And as a team and a group, we are ready to take on the rest of the week. We're just all feeling eager to get the 18T in victory lane. So a big thank you to my family, my team, again, everyone around me, all of our great partners, Legacy Builder Supply, Shane DeWald Trucking, Epic Custom Lighting, Earth Environmental, Champion Car Wash, Fast 4 Media. We also have Central Welding, and we had Lithia of Ford of Roseburg on board for our fastest 5 days in motorsports. Also Orville Tax, Veenendahl Trucking, JFE Group, QRC, Sisters Meat and Smokehouse, Lentz Machinery, ABC Powder Coating, Diamond Roofing Company, Bullseye Design and Print, Lender Butsky Engineers, TB Tile, Pit Stop USA. Seriously, it takes an army to do what we do, and it's great to have people around us. It makes the journey so much more fun, along with you great fans. I always tell you guys that. It's great that you guys get to be here for the highs, you're also here for the lows, but realistically, just us the entire journey, and you're seeing us grow in the sport, you know, trying to be a consistent 410 sprint car team, building towards the national level. And I want to get there, and I'm hungrier than ever as a driver and want to win races. I feel like we're right on the verge of, you know, being super competitive basically every single night. That's what we want to do, and work on that consistency and chasing some big money races coming ahead, and a good schedule of shows throughout the rest of our summer. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Second sucks. Can't complain though. We're heading in the right direction. Deuces.